So I thought I would touch base. So I did a live. I try and do, a couple of those a week. I have been just going to TikTok so far with lives. I do want to do some here, but I am aware that going live here, it's only for people who are subscribers. And I'm not against that, obviously. But I was thinking maybe I'll build up more over time and then start doing lives here. But it would be helpful to know what types of things you guys would like me to discuss. Not just on a live, I do want to know that. But also if there's some particular things that you'd like to focus on for content here. Obviously, I can't do like full readings and stuff like that here. It has to be done at my website. But some topics I could discuss or things that you're interested in, I'm more than happy to just do the stuff that I think of, and I will do that. But if there's any that you really want me to focus on, or that you don't feel like you know a lot about, or you want my perspective on, or whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. Again, if you don't want to put it in the comment section here, there isn't like a message area. But you can always send it to one of the other platforms. So you can send messages on TikTok, obviously, Facebook through Messenger. I'll check that. You can do through Instagram. So I've got other, and they're all under the same name, Lemuria Insights. So it's not hard to find me. So if you do want to have a discussion, with a private message, then feel free to send it. But I plan on doing, I want to delve into lots of arenas. I do like talking about numerology and human design, but I find it's a hard nut to crack. It seems like because it's not something people are as aware of, it's a little bit daunting. I've noticed that. I haven't had anybody book any readings for those particular topics yet, which I'm not upset about doing astrology. I quite like it, but it'll be good to, be able to delve into some of these things. So I have to think about a different way that I'm going to go and approach that to make it so it's relatable for people. Because I think there's some serious benefits, especially to just understanding yourself. Like I said, I have to think of different ways to put them into interesting readings. And I'm always thinking about how to do that. And I break the readings down to smaller amounts just so that it's a little bit easier, a little bit more fun, I hope. Just a different approach. But I'm going to go into the asteroids a lot more because I really like them. And I think being that if we're going to tie in numerology, we are in the double twos right now, so 2020s. So this is double feminine energy, which of course is why I think, and I have mentioned this before, I don't know if I've mentioned it here, but I'm going to say it if I have again anyway, because I think it stands to a good reason to do so. So when it comes to, I think a lot of this sort of kickback with sort of red pill, incel, alpha wannabe kind of info in terms of males, I feel like the reason that's really kicked off to high gear is there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear with the masculine because that we're in feminine energy right now. The masculine feels like it's even more than ever. It doesn't have its place. And look, we're in a new century. We really are. We're no longer in the ones. So it's not that kind of energy anymore. So men and masculine in general, are going to have to let go. And it's time to step into understanding the more feminine part. And the sad part is a lot of these types I'm talking about, they look down on feminine energy because it's scary to them. They don't understand it. And there's been this whole view for so long that feminine is a weak energy, it's here to be dominated, like there's all kinds of stuff. But the truth is, feminine was never meant to be dominated, ever. And if you look back at tribal communities and how we conducted ourselves as a species, now obviously there are differences in different regions and different places of the world, but there are some pretty consistent themes when you look at these ancient civilizations. And, women always had their part to play. And it's not just about bringing in children. If you consistently look at brain activity, females have a more active brain. They have more cognitive function. and a busier, sort of frontal lobe, among other areas. So we have more complicated thoughts. And lots of men know this. There's lots of jokes at women's expense about how we're difficult to make happy because we're so complicated. So it proves that very fact everybody knows. But it's fear from insecure males that causes some of the biggest issues. And so I think it's good, going back to my original point, I think it's good to explore asteroids for this reason. Because the majority of asteroids are feminine. And it isn't something that became, I guess, as researched or as popular until somewhat recently, because obviously we were in the ones in numerology. And so the masculine was revered and the feminine was frowned upon. But like everything, we all have masculine and feminine placements within us. So that doesn't matter if you're male or female. Doesn't matter if you lean more masculine or if you lean more feminine. You're going to have both in your chart and in your makeup. So it's important to understand how that is represented in you and how to get the best out of it. Because let's just go into this specific here. There are males who are water signs for their sun sign. Now, the water is consistently an earth sign. A feminine sign. Earth is also a feminine sign. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. So these two elements are feminine. But there are plenty of men, obviously, who fit into the earth or the water arena or have a lot of earth and water in their chart. And the problem with this is a lot of them feel like they have to overstep or show bravado or whatever because they can't show their more sensitive side. When the truth is, women like that. And I know a lot of men will, jump on here and say that that's not the truth, but it is. We like secure men who are connected both to their feminine and their masculine. This is where it gets confusing. A lot of men will say things, or even women, if I'm being honest, will say they don't like it when, men show emotion or they get upset or blah, blah. Well, it's never really about that. It's more about how it's perceived. So the person who's perceiving it, if they have their own issues and insecurities, it's going to be triggering, isn't it? The same goes with the guy who's expressing it. If he has insecurities, it's not going to come out very well. Whereas if he learns and embraces and understands that, look, yes, I'm a man, but I have masculine and feminine energies within me, and I need to balance these. So I'll give you a good example. A Cancer man is a very, very feminine man. This is not a bad thing. So a Cancer man is the kind of guy who can connect with you on an emotional level that pretty much any other sign is not going to be able to do. Should he be made fun of for that? I don't think so. When we're talking about what women want, no, I don't think so. So if he steps into that power and has the understanding of, yes, I have more sensitive leanings, but I'm also connected to my emotions. And if people have a problem with that and they're like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're a wuss. It's like, well, you know what? You can think what you want about me, but I know who I am. And I'm sensitive, and I'm proud that I'm sensitive because it means it's better than the alternative. And the alternative is not feeling anything. Who would want that? So that's what I hope to see more of, is men stepping into their feminine and owning it. Because it's powerful. It's powerful. And the more you step into it and own it and understand it, number one, if your whole thing is being with women and connecting with women, on even if it's just a physical sense, you're going to do a better job if you understand the feminine parts of yourself. I don't think a lot of people connect to this, but that's the truth. The more you connect to that and accept it and embrace it, the more you understand the power of being feminine. Because it is powerful. Just like masculinity is powerful, it's just a different kind. And I think even when it comes to the masculine in our society, it's still not as powerful as it could be. It's still pushed down. So my hope, especially with the readings that I'm making, and who knows how far I'll go with that, I'm willing to go as far as it takes. But imagine the things that we'll be able to do and discover, and who we'll be able to become when we balance these energies. Attraction between the masculine and the feminine won't wane or fade, because we'll be able to maintain those levels and then therefore maintain the attraction. So can you imagine? Relationships probably won't fail, will they? If they're going to not work, if it's just about a period of time, a lesson, then yes, they will. But imagine if you are so attracted to the opposite polarity than what you display. They don't lose attraction to you, and you don't lose attraction to them. Who knows where that could take us as a species? Imagine the power we could step into simply by accepting these realities. Not looking down on each other, not looking down on masculine, not looking down on feminine, because they both have their powers and they both have their reasons. And they need to be embraced and respected for what they are if we hope to have healthy, secure people in healthy, secure relationships, which then, of course, is going to trickle down to future generations, isn't it? Now, I might be getting too deep here, but I feel like that's what's important with understanding the chart, and that's why I take these things so seriously. But I hope to see you in readings in the future, and even if I don't, I look forward to seeing you for future content. I'll see you then.